I just realized my microphone was not on. Hello, everybody can hear me now. Yes, okay, much better. Thank you to myself for catching that. Hi, how's everybody doing? I hope you're doing amazing. So, today is day 4 of our these series that I'm committing to come up and show up for you guys. If you want to talk about your business, how you could grow it, how you could bring in more customers, how you could bring in more sales, please get on board and message me here up in the oh, the volume is a little bit loud here too. Let me just lower this volume. Huh? Yes, perfect. So, yes, this is an absolute blast. For the past 3 days, we've been doing a lot of information dumping, a lot of sharing of valuable knowledge, a lot of gems that have been dropped on 8 different platforms. We're going live, and we hope that you're being served by these and your business is being served. Hopefully, your communities, your family will be served as a result of all of this, and you yourself, because you're going to get to have more time and you're going to have more money with whatever you're doing with your business. I'm not selling you anything here. My name is Bliss again. I've been in the world of marketing since 2009, and I am here to get you whatever you need to break through to the next level for yourself and your business. If you at any point have a question, feel free, and you want to jump on live with us so that we could talk about your business specifically, go ahead and do so. You could text us at the number above. We don't spam you or anything. This is just to give you access to the live session. And we also, by the way, just for joining this live and joining the community and taking that initiative for your own business, we'll send you this just magnificently valuable, and anybody else can do this, by the way. You could just text us. We'll send you this magnificently valuable AI instructions on how your business can be taken to the next level. So if you want to receive that, it's about $100 that we usually sell it for. We'll give it to you for free, not a problem. We don't spam you. We're just here to serve. So today's conversation is going to be on how can we actually grow our business. If you have a business yourself, or if you work for a business, it still means that this is going to be super useful for you, because if you want to make more money, even if you're an employee and you're working for somebody else, a lot of people always ask, like, how can I get a raise? How can I earn the raise? You got to earn it. Remember that. And the way you earn the raise is by actually committing yourself to providing more value for whatever business it is that you're working with. This is so critical for you to understand, because a lot of the times we feel entitled that we're going to be given a raise and we're going to be given more money this year than ever before. But that doesn't happen, my friend, does it? Because evaluations in corporate structure, or when you own your own business, the growth that your business has is purely based on one metric, one key performance indicator, or KPI we call it in the world of consulting and business development. And that is how much value can be provided to the end user. I want you to please remember this. If you want to earn yourself a fat payout from your current company, if you work anywhere, or if you own your own business, your idea, your intention, everything you got to focus on is just one and one thing. How can I provide more value to the end client, to the end customer? And by asking yourself that question, you're going to be able to find answers that a lot of people are not finding, just because they're not asking that simple question. And here's the thing, once you ask yourself that, then you always get some sort of an answer. Now comes number 2, the most important part, which is why most people actually fall out of this and drop out. And that is, what massive action do I need to take right now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now, to actually serve more, bring more value to the table? My friend, if you want to succeed, if you want to be more successful in whatever it is that you're doing, whatever success metric you define for yourself is going to be very, very important, because what you can't measure, you cannot improve. You can only improve what is measured. So please, if your success metric is the number of customers you're supposed to serve, or the number of tickets you're supposed to handle, or the number of leads you're supposed to generate, or the number of houses I'm going to be knocking at today, whatever your metric success is, first of all, how much more value can I provide during whatever it is that I'm trying to do, so that whoever I'm going to speak with actually feels like a human, understood, and only then I'm going to be having the bridge of communication open so I could effectively serve them with my service, product, whatever it is that I'm trying to do. A lot of people think sales is hard, but selling is really not hard at all. Selling is the easiest thing you can do. The only problem is everybody's just trying to get into sales to make themselves money, and that will never work. I'll tell you this, it will never work if you want to get into sales to just make more money. It will only work. And by the way, the highest paid people on this planet are salespeople. I want you to understand that. Because if you can do sales, if you could close, you could get into selling houses, you could get into selling big ticket items, high ticket items, we call them. And then you're going to be making so much money. So selling is critical. And by the way, you think you're not in sales? You're in sales even if you're just an average employee that pushes around paper, because you gotta sell yourself, my friend. You gotta sell yourself every moment to whoever is writing a check for you, to whoever is dealing with you. And it is your number one opportunity and number one responsibility to yourself, to your family, to your community, to actually be able to sell yourself first more effectively, and then whatever it is that you're doing, if it's a product, if it's a service, if it's a procedure that you're doing. So I want you to understand this. Hey, what's going on, people messaging us live? Thank you, actually. Thank you. And again, if anybody wants to get in on the call and just wants to talk about your own business or your own career, feel free to do so. Join us live, send a text message. We're going to definitely look after you, ask you 3 quick questions, your name, your email, your website, and then you get to join us live here. And we also will give you gifts just for stepping up for yourself, $100 in value on how to actually fast track and automate, systemize your life so you could actually earn back time using artificial intelligence today. How you can do that. That's very important. So again, back to sales. If you want to have a good life, if you want to live effectively in more freedom of time and freedom of money, you must be able to provide more value to other humans, because that's the only way you're going to be compensated. Nobody's going to come and give you more of their hard-earned money, whether it's your company or whether you're working on your own or whether you're an employee. Your customers or your bosses will not just hand out money to you. People who own a business know this right away. How hard is it to get money out of people's hands? Well, the answer to that depends on 2 things. Are you trying to serve them, or are you trying to pry their money, their hard-earned money, out of their hands? That's literally the path that will give you the answer. If you're going to just make money for yourself and bring it home and go on a vacation, yeah, of course, it's not going to be easy to pry the hard-earned money out of nobody's hand. But when you're trying to provide so much value, then it becomes almost magical how money just becomes a byproduct of the process that you're trying to follow. And it just comes to you. It absolutely will just come to you. Everybody, anybody, drop a message in the chat if you're watching this, because this is a live video. Tell me if there has been a time that you've gone out of your way to make sure you get whatever it is that you want and it hasn't happened. 100% you gave it your all. You did whatever was needed. You didn't doubt yourself and you didn't say, well, this is optional. I don't know if I could do it or not. No, you actually got up and you said, this is happening. It is a must. It is done. I'm just going to find a way, or if I don't find one, I'm going to create a way. Any of us, all of us, 8 billion people on this planet, any of us that have ever said that and have been in that state, in that mindset, we have been able to achieve whatever it is that we have desired. And that is the truth, my friend. So we talked about this yesterday, and I keep on repeating this because this must be just beaten in enough so we comprehend it 100%. Success has two components. It is, see, everybody's looking for the new way to make money, for the new strategy to make money, for the new company that will pay me more money. That's called strategy, okay? That's called strategy. The strategies are systems, they're operations that we want to find to be able to either as business owners, entrepreneurs, to implement them in our operations so that we could be more effective, we could lower the overhead, we could increase the leads, prospects, closings, and eventually, obviously, the bottom line. If you're an employee, what you're trying to do is completely different. You want to bring procedures, you want to bring strategies to yourself so you become more effective employee and more valuable at work, so you're rewarded more for what it is that you're putting in, correct? I don't think there is any disagreement to that. Now, where comes the biggest part? The biggest part of this is like, have you ever seen the what do they call glaciers? You know, there's only about a few percentage of them that is sticking above the water. So those massive things we see sticking out of the water, that's just a few percent. There is like 90%, 95% of the weight goes under it. And that is the same thing with success. What we see up there are the strategies, but every strategy that you can find to implement will be sitting on the weight will be sitting on the shoulder of psychology, which is exactly the way you could get your brain, which is exactly the way you get to discipline your emotional state, your emotional awareness, so that you could deliver, so that you could stop contemplating, which is essentially just doubting yourself. Just doubting yourself that whether can I do this or not, that's contemplation. And everyone goes into states of contemplation. Every day we go into contemplation. See, everybody thinks if I want to make more money, I just got to go work harder. That is absolutely not true. How many people do you know who are working 2 jobs full time? They're not even making the ends meet. They're barely surviving. Is that person not working hard enough? Absolutely, they're working hard enough. So then what becomes the question is, what is happening that people are working hard, yet they're not creating the life that they want to experience for themselves? Well, what is happening is that they're just working hard. They're not working smart. There is a big difference. And that is, I always heard this. I was like, what does working smart mean? Like all these people say, work smart, don't work hard. This is exactly what it means. Working smart means you correct your own psychology. You manage your emotional state. And by doing that, you could stop contemplating and you could take immediate and massive action right now in direction of providing more value to whoever you're trying to deal with. That's literally what working smart means. And when you could understand this, my friend, like your life is taken to the next level. I'm just letting you know. Because it's never about how much time, it's never about how much energy, it's never about how much money you have. It's always about how much value you're willing and able to provide to somebody else. And here's the thing, I can't provide any value for anybody else. Yes, you can. You're just underestimating and contemplating your abilities to show up, because all we think about is, how can I just do more for me, instead of showing up genuinely and saying, how can I do more for you today? That's exactly what I'm here for, by the way. If you're watching this, if you're an employee or if you own your own business, doesn't matter. You see the text message scrolling above. That's not a spam line. That is our direct line. Please send us a text message and join this conversation live. We're here to give you just free consulting value that will change your life. By the way, breakthrough consulting is one of the things that people who are affluent, who are of means of financial freedom, experience and enjoy and leverage every day in their business. So these are things that they require because they're expensive. They're $500, $600, $300 minimum in per hour of compensation. So I just want to say this month is my birthday month, and I decided to myself, I was like, what better to do than to just give? So we were in Tony Robbins' event with my partner Star, Business Mastery, for like the sixth time. One of the best events that any business owner of any size, you see business owners there who have like billion-dollar companies, and you see business owners there that are just starting up. It makes no difference. Everybody shows up. You see employees show up because they want to, they learn, they are smart enough, they understand, once I know how a business works, then I could quickly move up the ladder, the corporate ladder, if you will. Because then when you understand what the business actually wants, you could look around you, whatever department you're working in, all you got to do is to find how you can find a way to make it better today. How can I make it better today, wherever I'm working? And while we were at Business Mastery, we realized Tony is right. Tony is an absolute legend. He's like the #1 strategic consultant in the world. 3 years wait time to speak to him. $1 million for 10 hours of work. That's $100,000 almost per hour. That's nuts. So this man is giving us information in a room with like 15,000 people online, 20,000 people online. And you know what he says? He says, this is the key to receiving is just giving. That's the art of life. So here we are, just trying to give to you. I hope you're taking mental notes. I hope you're taking notes of whatever resonates with you. So know that we are here for you. If you're watching this as a replay or if you're watching this live with us, know that we are here to serve you with your business, with your financial freedom, with your time freedom. There is always the 80% of the psychology that is holding us back, even when we have the best strategies in the world. I have a question for you. Serious question. How many people do you know around you who are trying to lose weight? How many people? Need to drink some water. Everybody knows somebody who wants to lose some weight, no? So then I have another question for you. How hard is it to lose weight? Is it rocket science? Like by this time, in 2025, we all know that to lose weight, you just gotta lower your intake, calorie intake, and just increase your calorie output, which is burning the calories. You keep that going consistently, you're Gucci. How many people are still trying to lose weight? That's the strategy. It's a very simple, foundational. Yes, Lisa says, simple to lose weight. That is right, Lisa. How are you doing? Welcome to the conversation. The reason that people are not losing the weight is not because they don't have the right strategy, because the strategies are there. There's so many strategies out there. There's, as a matter of fact, so many strategies that people get analysis paralysis when they're actually getting to it, on actually getting contemplative because of the analysis paralysis. So there's so many strategies. Any of them you pick, it will work for you. Why is it that it doesn't work for people? Most people get into one pattern, one diet, they call it, whatever it is, the Atkins diet, this diet, that diet, the carnivore diet. They lose the weight, and then what happens? After a month, they hit a plateau. After 2 months, they hit a plateau. If they're not tired, or if they don't quit it, because it's harder to watch and manage what you're putting inside your body for a lot of people, and actually keeping the calorie burn up, so you burn more than you actually bring in, which is a very basic formula. But the funny thing is this, even for those who actually continue with it, because the psychology doesn't change, that's why they always stop. I have a client, a good client of mine, good businessman. He cannot stop eating. He cannot stop eating. And we've tried just recently, within the past week, to go with some NLPs after years and years, about 200 pounds overweight. After years and years, we just tried doing NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming with him. which is a very foundational breakthrough strategy that consultants such as us use to intervene when there is an intervention required. And my friends, let me tell you, the psychology has changed. Therefore, the behavior is naturally now a new behavior. The man doesn't need to try to stop himself from overeating because the underlying stress was there that was causing the overeating, the emotional eating. I'm trying to tell you, in the world of business, it is the same thing. You have the tools to grow your business. Everybody knows I need to bring in more leads to bring in more sales. Everybody knows if I'm an employee, I need to bring more value to the table so I could get a bigger paycheck. Why are we not doing it? It's only because of one thing. It is the psychology. 80% of your success is your psychology, is the way you think. There are modalities, there are sub-modalities, there are vehicles through which we actually experience everything we are on an hourly, per minute, per second basis. And those modalities at a subconscious level are 100% driving all of our decisions. Something very interesting is that Dr. Joe Dispenza actually talks about this a lot. This is very interesting. Just stay tuned with this. This will change your perspective on yourself, on your business, on your clients, on your family, on your partners for good. This one thing will change everything for you. By the time we are 35 years old, okay, by the time you're 35, the statistics show that about 90 to 95% of everything you think, everything you feel, and everything you do or don't do today is the same as it was yesterday. Understand what just happened. By the time you're about 35 years old, 95% of your thoughts, feelings, and doings today is the same as yesterday. Just take a moment right now, think about it in your life. True or not? Today versus yesterday. Usually wake up around the same time in the morning. Immediately, you always get out of the bed, the same position, doing the same thing on the same side of the bed, first putting the same foot on the ground, and then doing the first thing that you always do. What is it? You go for your phone or you go for a drink, a sip of water. Hopefully that's what you would do. Drink a sip of water, have a sip of water. Then what do? You just walk up and do the next thing. See, if you follow what I'm telling you sequentially, even the smallest decisions in terms of your phone conversations, who you speak to, who you see, what emails you read, what do you respond to, what kind of work you do, even your work is the same thing repeating itself today as it was yesterday. And now I have a question for you. That means that today I'm doing 95% the same as yesterday, thinking the same stuff, feeling the same stuff. That just leaves one question. That means today I am essentially living in a familiar past, 95% today, familiar, similar to yesterday. So then, and by the way, yesterday to the day before, the day before to the day before. So this is the key question. If I am perpetually and continuously living in a 95% today, the same as yesterday, which we call living in a familiar past, I could only expect a what? Predictable future. Ka-ching, ka-ching. Yes. Which is why our lives don't change, and it's really hard to change because everybody wants to change their life, yet we don't understand that we are continuously feeling, thinking, doing the same things today as yesterday, and yet we expect a different outcome, which, by the way, is the definition of, yes, you know it, insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different outcomes. 100% true. Any other way you think about it, you're just fooling yourself. In your business, I know I have so many clients that they're doing the same thing, and then maybe they tried one thing and they half-ass even try it, and then they're like, oh, we tried everything, this business is not growing. Or customers are cheap. or there's not enough money in the economy, or my company is laying people off. Well, good job, Lisa. Lisa is literally on this saying the answer is right. So, well, what is it? What is it that is preventing us from experiencing what it is that we need to? 100% in the world of business, in your own life, which is, by the way, another news flash. Your business is always only an extension of who you are. So when you are psychologically restricting change within yourself, that means your business is going to be restricted. When you don't proactively, by the way, why is it that every successful person that you see on social media, in life, I don't know if you go deep enough and if you study, but if you study, you will always get to the same conclusion. Every successful person out there sounds like they've done the hard, they've ate the dirt, they've paid their dues. They did the hard work. Nobody comes out and tell you, "Oh yeah, I achieved success and it was just really easy. It was just piece of cake." Everybody has their own crazy stories on what crazy journeys they've been through. And there is one commonality, because we are essentially patterned in our line of job as breakthrough consultants in business development and growth. We are trained for one and one mission only. It's to recognize patterns, utilize those patterns, and when needed, create those patterns. Because what did I just tell you? Today, you are living in 95% perpetually the same patterns of thought, emotion, and doings as yesterday. And you are creating your life with your business. You are creating your life in terms of the wage that you get paid. And you are doing through those 95% loops and patterns that today is repeating the same as yesterday. If you want to bring in more business to your business, those patterns gotta change, and you gotta model whoever you can find, the best person on this planet who's already experienced what you want to and is willing to share that knowledge with you, who's willing to show you the path. Put your foot here, don't go down in the river. Somebody who's already crossed the river and is willing to stand back and show you the path through. There are not a lot of people willing to do that, but there are always people that in any industry. And those people are called coaches. Those people are called consultants. And when that's what I was trying to tell you, when you watch the success metrics on this planet right now, whether you look at it in politics, in arts, in money, in success, in social media, anyone who's done anything worth achieving and celebrating has done it by modeling what people ahead of them have done before and taught them. Mentors, aka coaches, aka consultants, aka the books, the studies, the courses, the seminars, the self-developments, the business developments. So I want to just tell you one thing and one thing only. If you're not going to take anything from today's conversation, because nobody is popping in yet to do live conversations, I'm here for you every day, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. to do live conversations. You could text the message about the number above, and we will send you the link after 3 quick questions, your name, your email, and your website, so we could best find information and serve you with. We don't spam. I'm not here to spam. I'm here to give you values, my friend. And if you want to jump on, we still got about 20-15 minutes. Feel free to do so. I'm here for you. Otherwise, if there's one thing you're going to take out of this few minutes we're spending with each other, I want you to know one thing. If you want to change anything within your life or your business, you must spend the time, the energy, and have the discipline of recognizing the 95% repeating patterns within yourself of what it is that you do or don't do. Because remember, the exact life that you're experiencing today, whatever it is that you have, the roof you have over your head, the car you're driving, the type of phone you're speaking with, the watch you have on your hands, on your back, it is all the partner you're with. It all has to do with these 3 things. because it is all a creation of every moment that has been stacking on top of the last by you for decades. That's what we call life right now. So if you want to change anything within that, then you must understand what is it that I'm doing and what is it that I'm not. You got to first start and ask yourself that. This is called an inventory analysis. This is a self-inventory. And same thing in your business. If you're a business person, you want to go to the next level and break through, you got to first take an inventory list of what are the actions, what are the things that we're doing, and what are the things we are not doing. It doesn't matter. There is a very direct correlation. People think a business is a different entity. No, a business is just an extension of who it is that you are. Yes, mastery takes time and investment. I love this. Absolutely right. And Lisa, indeed, is here from Tony's family. Welcome, Lisa. Thank you for being with us. So, my friend, I wanted to tell you this. These patterns of doings and not doings, these patterns of actually thinking that I can change something within my life, about my life, by going externally and trying to say, I'm not getting paid enough, I'm not being recognized enough, I'm not being appreciated enough, and just playing the victim, not seeing the patterns of how I'm showing up, who I'm showing up as for my employees, for my customers, for my partner, for my community, for my family, because who we show up as just brings out from others who they need to respond to us as well. This is very easy. If I showed up here, hey everybody, I'm here to just help you out with your business, how would you show up? You would probably fall asleep within the first 3 seconds. I'm trying to communicate with you that how I show up, that your favorite TV host, favorite podcast host, the reason you tune into them is because they're showing up for you in a way that you want to also show up for them, because you resonate with them, you connect with them. In order for you to realize why your life is or isn't whatever it is that you want it to be, there are things you have been doing or have not been doing that you needed to do. Now, here's the thing. Why do we not do them? Everybody's like, oh, yeah, no shit, Jose. You're a genius one. Well, here's where it gets interesting. The reason we do or don't do things is because of how we feel. And again, this goes back to your customers. Customers, if you remember on day 2, I don't know if anybody watched day 2, we were talking about this. Customers only make emotional decisions. Therefore, you cannot sell to people when you're trying to logically tell them that we are the best people at this, or we are the best people, or I make the best burgers, or I am the best coder. Nobody cares. People make emotional decisions. We don't make logical decisions. The reason we do things is because we feel emotionally compelled to do something, to take an action. And when we don't, we completely feel dissociated from that necessity. There is no emotion to tell us, to push us to actually get whatever it is done. That's literally what happens when we don't do things. When you know you got to lose weight, but you're not doing it, it's because there is not enough emotional charge, emotional heat to move us to the direction of changing our behavior. Now, emotions are creating behavior, and here's the key thing. Emotions are created by thoughts. This is not a conversation of which one came first, the chicken or egg, and go in a loop. This is science. We know that our thoughts create our emotions and our emotional state. So our emotions give us a specific state. That is how you feel. So when I feel excited, that's because I have excitement as an emotion within me. When I feel tired, that means I feel a lack of energy within me. When I feel motivated, that's because I feel, when I feel the world is motivated, that I am feeling motivated, it's because I feel there is hope. And by the way, I want you to understand both of these are preceded by the thoughts. So if you take nothing else out of this, if you want to lose weight, if you want to make more money, if you want to earn back time for your business, and if you want to be able to live life on your terms, whether it is in your business or whether it is in your personal life, I encourage you to understand what it is that you're thinking. And by the way, there's another component to thinking, because thinking, everybody's like, well, I am thinking I want to make more money. Why am I not making more money? That's, by the way, the most common thing we always get. I'm thinking I need to make more money. Why am I not making more money? The reason for it is because you're literally focusing on the wrong thing, giving it the wrong meaning, which is giving you a different emotion. And it's disallowing you to take the actions, the massive actions we were saying necessary. And what does that mean? The reason you want to make money, again, is coming because you're focusing on the fact that I don't have right now enough money, which makes you, by the way, when I don't have enough money, what is the next meaning your brain is going to give you? Oh shit, I am in trouble. I need more money. I don't have enough of it. Now, the meaning you give it is not a meaning of empowerment. It's not focusing on what I do have. You're focusing on what you don't have. And now when you get to a conversation with any human that can actually give you that money that you want, you're only thinking about what you don't have, which you want to have more of, instead of what it is that that person in front of you is concerned with, which, by the way, if you were to just address it, so many times people will just throw their money at you. It doesn't matter who it is. If it's your boss, if it's your employer, or if it's your employer is really your customer anyways, doesn't matter if you own your own business. So whatever it is that you understand, see, like, that's what I was just trying to tell you. There are some people, have you ever felt you've been somewhere? This is true, this is a live conversation. Have you ever felt like you've been somewhere where you didn't even need something, but you ended up buying it because the salesperson was just so good that they weren't even selling it to you, and you don't even know how you just bought something and you walked out? It could be something as easy or as basic as a grocery item, or it could be something really bigger, like a car that you may have bought and you didn't even go to buy that car. You just went to look at it. We all experience this. You know what all these crazy, beautifully salespeople capable are doing? They're just making the conversation about you at the time, or they were making the conversation about you, instead of making the conversation about what it is that they needed. They listened to you. They tuned into your state of being at that time. They were being empathetic, which means they were acknowledging you. They were mirroring you. Even if they didn't know, so many people are actually naturally good at this. They know how to match and mirror, which is a technique that is used in sales, in negotiations. So it is very important, and it just comes to them easy. And those are the ones you usually find as the nice associates in, like, the dollar store. They're the ones that are smiling. Those are the ones, and as soon as those ones find the ability within them and hone it and find the right strategy, because they have the right psychology by default, they become powerful salespeople that become unstoppable. Because as I was telling you, the highest paying jobs on this planet are sales jobs. You could make a mad killing working remotely right now, making mad money just by becoming an amazing salesperson. And it is so easy once you start listening instead of trying to sell people so that you will be compensated, so you take a bigger check home. The biggest lesson we are taught is, and this really good, Lisa says, matching mirroring is very natural for me through compassion. That's a very interesting thing. And I want to just point this out because we want to be careful with compassion. Sometimes comes sympathy if not controlled. And sympathy and empathy are two completely different things that will actually enable you or disable you from actually serving another person. I'm sure Lisa is very resourceful, and she understands this, being a part of uh, the Tony family. But for everybody else watching this, I want to share this with you, because when the conversation comes up, thank you, Lisa, for bringing this point up. This is very important, because when you tune into people, when I say you got to understand them, you don't want to become sympathetic by through compassion. Through compassion, you want to become empathetic. And the only difference between these two is that in one of them, you're getting emotionally involved in their story that they tell you. And in the other one, you are 100% perceptive to their stories. And by the way, you could use everything I'm telling you with your relationship with your wife, husband, kids, parents, neighbors, employees, and you will see results. This is not only for you and your customers. When you're being empathetic, it means that you're 100% receptive, present, and just connecting with that person through your heart, not through your mind, by trying to say, what should I tell them right now after this? What am I trying to say after that? What am I trying to sell them? What strategy or steps am I going to use? No, that will never work. See, the way this works in the world of business is the same way it works with your personal day-to-day life. You know, hopefully, who you are. You know what your skills are. You know what your gifts are. You know what you're capable of. Therefore, when you're having a natural conversation with any other human being, your real one and only job is to just stay present and just stay connected with them. Let me tell you an interesting story about this. Empathy, sympathy, and staying present. Very interesting. There is a man named Jim Quick, Jimkwik, if I'm not mistaken. He's very famous. He's actually world renowned. Uh, fix. You guys are funny. Thank you, Lisa, for mirroring in and chiming in. Jim Quick is a brilliant man. You gotta Google this guy. And he was actually speaking. He's one of the most world-renowned teachers of memory and being able to have amazing memory and recalling abilities within your brain. Because our brain is just this absolutely magnificent machine that we are literally underutilizing. I want you to know that everybody's heard that, like, Einstein used this much percentage of his brain and we don't use more than this much percentage, whether that number is 8, 10, 20, doesn't matter. But the brain can operate at a much, much higher capacity than what we already use it for. Jim Quick, which, by the way, ironically and metaphorically, he grew up with learning disabilities, actually. And now he's the world's most renowned teacher and instructor. He teaches Fortune 500 companies and CEOs one-on-one. And he has many courses and programs. You could find him on YouTube as well. He's brilliant, this brilliant mind that teaches you how to actually utilize your more capacity out of your more horsepower out of your brain. So what Jim Quick was saying is that I took a program with him. This is very interesting, through Mind Valley. And because I always used to have this problem in my past life where I wouldn't remember names well. It was just a blur. Like, even like the people that I was in touch with many times, I couldn't remember the names, and I kept on saying it. You know, I used to say, hey, I'm so sorry, I'm not good with names. And I was actually attending Jim's program. And you know what he said to me on the day one in the introduction of the course, which absolutely blew my mind away. This is a true story from Jim Quick. Listen to this. This is very interesting. So Jim says that he is the world-renowned coach in the area of memory retention. And he says he met President Clinton once at a dinner, at a fundraiser dinner. And they talked, these fundraiser dinners. Everybody goes because you pay thousands of dollars, and then you obviously say hi, like, and they take a picture, and it's like 20 seconds, and they ask you who your name is. Actually, all these politicians, they do the same thing. That's how they raise their money. I've worked with so many of them at different levels. So that's the procedure. In order for them to do their fundraising, you go as, rich people, and you pay like $2,000 for a dinner, $3,000 for a plate of dinner, which really goes to the foundation, to the campaign. And then you get to say hi, and then you get to shake their hands, stand there, take a pretty photo, and then they ask you, hey, what is your name? As if they actually will remember. And then you say, hey, my name is Jim. And then they say, hi, Jim. Thank you so much for coming out and helping us tonight. Yeah, let's take that photo. And then you stand there, and then you're just taking that photo, and then boom, that's it. And then you go. So Jim is telling this story where he met with President Clinton. He took the photo, he did that, and then years later, 3 years later, he meets President Clinton at another fundraiser. Guys, listen to this. This is President Clinton's story, true story of a sitting president. This is at the time. And Jim says that when he goes the second time, 3 years later, to President to say hi, he walks to the table and he says, hello, Mr. President. And Mr. President looks at him and says, hello, Jim. Jim's mind blown. And Jim goes, what the hell did just happen? I met this man once, years before, and he's the president. He sees so many people, thousands of people a week. His brain is on controlling the economy of the most powerful economy in the world, the biggest military in the world, and he remembered my name. So he stops right there and he says, whoa, wait a second, Mr. President, I have a question for you. How did you even remember my name? And this line changed my life. And I got everything I paid for and then more at that moment from that course. I didn't even need to continue the course. So Bill Clinton says to him, well, Jim, the reason for it is because every time I have to deal with any human, I am 100% here and present with you, and I'm not thinking of anything else, because this is what I need to tend to at this moment. It doesn't matter what happens after. It didn't matter what happened before. At this moment, I need to deal with you. Therefore, I will remember this moment. And this changed my life. I was like, oh my God. That's why I was not remembering people's names. It was because the whole time while we were talking, I was not even present with them. I was in my head just trying to think whatever it is that I need to get out of this conversation, or where do I need to go after this, that I was just interrupted instead of waiting to pay attention to the fact that this conversation takes priority. Clearly it has come to my attention. Clearly it has stopped me on my track. What is it that I need to do with it? How can I give more value to this person at this time than to actually think, what is the first question I gotta ask, or what is the next thing I gotta say? And believe it or not, when I watched this in a moment, everything changed. And ever since then, 4 years ago to this moment, I have amazing memory retention because I am present when I meet people now. And every time I don't, there are still times I don't, I go in my head and I go dead and I get lost in that space when I'm having a conversation. I still come out of it and I'm just like, oh, what was their name? And then I'm like, oh, okay, next time, stay grounded. Again, stay present with that person. Go in the heart, don't go in the head. Listen. And that's what empathy is, by the way. This is the only reason I said all of this is empathy. So there is this author, one of the biggest negotiation teachers and instructors in the world, Chris Voss. He has written the book, Never Split the Difference. He owns this company called Black Swan Consulting. This guy is the guy for negotiations. Believe me, telling you as a breakthrough business consultant, strategic consultant, I listen and teach and get taught everything in the book. And we go to so many seminars so you don't have to. We go to so many classes so you don't have to. This man is hands down one of the craziest negotiators. If you have not read this book, stop whatever you're doing and go buy this audiobook if you enjoy it, or the book. It's called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Most life-changing thing, because I want you to understand every day. Oh my God, by the way, it is 12 o'clock and I got to wrap this up in a minute. I got so into this, I completely lost track of time. But because I started 7 minutes late today, I'm going to do my own delivery and wrap this up within the next 7 minutes. So every time you wake up, every conversation you're having on your text message, with your phone, with your partner, when you want to go out to dinner, which restaurant do we go out to? When you want to actually go out to the movies with your friend, every conversation is a negotiation. When you're trying to go to the store, when you want to buy your car, we only think we got to negotiate when we buy the car and when we want to buy a house. And in both those circumstances, it's not happening because you never practice negotiation. We have no idea how to negotiate. And negotiation is just a skill that can be acquired. It is not something you're born with. It is not physique, okay? And even physique you could change. So, negotiations. Chris Voss actually teaches you tactical empathy as one of the most foundational and fundamental principles of negotiation. And Chris Voss, by the way, I want to just tell you a quick fun fact. He was for like a decade the counter global terrorism's head of negotiation whenever US citizens would be captured as hostage anywhere around the world. This job was exclusive to 3 people, and he was one of the people that used to do this. And the funny thing is, in again his introduction conversation in his book, he does say that everybody thinks negotiations are always these like things where there's like shootouts at the end and like people are driving through. But that's because getting away in a drive-away car, in a getaway car. But that's not in reality how things work. He says we actually, in their line of work, they have a 98 or 99%, something ridiculous, success rate, which in their line of work, success rate means you're negotiating with a terrorist who has a US hostage, and your number one job is to release that hostage without paying them money, because the US does not negotiate with terrorism, so they do not pay money, ransom money. So 99% success rate with negotiating with a terrorist who in some God knows what dark hole is holding a gun or a knife to your subject's head is absolutely mind-boggling. And yes, I'm going to put his name up here. Lisa shared it. Chris Voss is a genius when it comes to negotiations. And I want you to understand how critical it is for you to learn how to negotiate, because with your family, with your partner, with your employees, with your employers, you are constantly negotiating every day, whether you want to do less work or more work, whether you want to pass on a project or you want to give it to somebody else. Learn how to negotiate. And one of the biggest skills of any good negotiator is tactical empathy, which is exactly what I was telling you. Be present, tune in, and just understand what is the pain that this person is talking about. Believe me, all you got to do is to just ask people how they're doing and genuinely now listen by just tuning into them. They will just reveal so much for you that you don't even need to fish. One of the biggest rules of negotiation, whether it's with yourself, with your partner, with your employees, is to do 80%, 90% listening. And it's active listening versus passive listening that is so important. That's again something else Chris Voss teaches you in the book. Active listening is 90% of the conversation. You got to be an active listener. 10% you're offering a solution. to what you just picked out from the conversation. Now, go ahead, watch this again, listen to this again, and tell me how hard is it to actually sell. All you got to do is to care, to come from a place of compassion, to actually not get emotionally entangled in a story, to actually be able to stay present out of your head, in your heart, connect with the person on the phone, on the email, in front of you, whoever that person is, and try to understand their world. Try to understand where they come from, what is hurting them, what is bothering them, what about their life can be better, and how can you at this moment make their life better. Please make this a challenge for next week for yourself, a fun challenge, and trying to show up in this state of mind for those around you and see how their reactions and behaviors will change. Take a deep breath when you're dealing with somebody and just go in your heart. Don't listen to the voices in your head. That becomes irrelevant. That conversation is irrelevant. Stay present. You don't need to say anything. So many times, 90% of the times, all people need is to just be heard, and they will love you for just listening to them. Understand this, and your life is absolutely changed forever. This is true. Lisa says it is your story or theirs. It cannot be both of them. And if you're listening to your story in your own head, you're not able to listen to anybody else's, which means you're coming from a place of lack, from a place of fear of what I don't have, that I need to think about at this moment, that is more important than the person who's in front of me, that I got to deal with, whether it's my wife, my partner, my friend, my boss, my employee, my client. And in that moment, you've just lost the narrative because you're no longer a part of the conversation. You're just conversing in your own head. And we have a saying in Tony's world, when you go in your head, you go dead. So that is a byproduct of going in your head. All right, everybody, this is a wrap for today. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Thank you for all the lovely people who stayed here from the beginning to the end with us. Lisa, thank you for being very active and talking to me. And I really appreciate you. And I really appreciate you for taking the time for yourself. Don't forget our phone number is above here. At the very, very least, send a message. So send me your thoughts about what you thought about this. If you want me to tomorrow talk about something important that is important to you, text me to the phone number above. We're going to see these and we're going to talk about them. If you want, we're going to even be able to send you the link to participate in this during the 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. sessions. So you could come live and we'll just converse about your business, your employment opportunities. This is what we're here for. Every hour of our consulting in our industry is worth over $500. I want you to know that it is my commitment to serve, to show up, and provide you immense amount of value so we could hopefully get you more money, more financial freedom, and more freedom of time so you could do more of what you need and what you want. My name is Bliss. It was another beautiful hour with all you beautiful souls, and I wish you all the best. Be blessed and take care until tomorrow, same time. Thank you, brother. I love you all. Let's go.